So hi guys, how are you doing? My name is McKenna, this is Glow Up with McKenna, and this is where you get the cream de la creams, and today we are doing it quite differently. We are about to educate you on law. Yes, everything to do with law. And on this first episode, we are going to do about commercial law. That's what we are going to not specialize. Focus on. Yes, thank you very much. So that's what we're going to focus on. And I have a very, very beautiful lady with me today who is going to be educating us kidogo kidogo. You know, ukitaka kupewa contract pale, ukiwa foreigner pale, ukitaka kuja Kenya, what papers do you need? How long do you need to process your, ukifanya makosa nani atakuja kutetea? So we are going to learn this and more on Glow Up with McKenna. So if you haven't subscribed, please do, because we are bringing you new things every single day. So help me welcome Eunice. Mbona nimekuintroduce, so unafaa kujiintroduce. Wakujue mwanzo. Introduce yourself first. Tuambie wewe ni nani? What do you do? What do you specialize in? Because people think a lawyer is a lawyer. So,
no.
Yes.
Law is very wide. My name is Eunice Kavere. I'm a partner in charge of commercial, the commercial department at Lumala Sacheng and Kavere Advocates. I have been an advocate for 15 years.
You look so young to have practiced for 15 years.
Yeah, I started at 12.
Really?
I'm joking.
I was like, how on earth? Oh, okay, so jeans, ukona zile jeans za kukaa young.
Kama hizo zako hizo.
Is it? So people first think that law is lawyer, as in a lawyer is a lawyer. You specialize in commercial law. So what's commercial law? Kwanza to educate kidogo tu, the what tukona background whatever on what you're talking about.
To put it very simply, commercial law is that arm of the law that interfaces with business. Anything to do with business. Whether you're starting a business, closing a business, maintaining a business, making sure the business is compliant, protecting your intellectual property, entering into contracts, business to business, individual to business, individual to individual, business to business. Anything to do with the business is where commercial practice.
Yeah. And inside it kuna foreigners pia.
Yes, I mean, because foreigners also want to come into Kenya and start businesses.
Yes.
Or they want to come into Kenya and work. So immigration practice also is under commercial law.
Yeah.
Yes.
So everything to do with immigration, specifically those who are coming to Kenya to work.
Everything to do with immigration. Well, I can't say it's strictly commercial, because sometimes you can have a foreigner in the country who clashes with the law,
true.
Maybe commits a crime, then you would not say that is commercial practice. That would be litigation, specifically criminal law. Yes, yeah. But we want to think that foreigners come to our country for good.
For investing
for investing, for working.
Yeah. Alright, so today let's focus kidogo on the foreigners, because wa Kenya kidogo najua tunaweza ulizana hapa chini ya maji nini. So for the foreigners who watch our channel, they would like to know first, when I apply for a visa ama for whatever to come to Kenya, so what's the process like? Do I have, nikipata visa yangu, will I get the permit immediately? I'll just come to Kenya as a foreigner and then start working? What's the process like before nitoke UK nikuje Kenya? Sijui mbona nimetaja UK, but okay.
Unawalipia consultation fee.
Wape tu juju.
Let's separate the reasons why you come to Kenya.
Yes.
You can come for leisure. We have nothing to do with you. Okay? Because then you just simply apply for your e-visa, and you can apply for it online from anywhere in the world. All right?
Yes.
So suppose you're coming in and specifically you want to start a business. There are so many reasons why foreigners come to Kenya. Some come as missionaries, some come to be employed, some come to start their businesses. So that we don't speak for too long, we can focus on those who come to start businesses. Okay, so there's a specific work permit that such a foreigner needs to get. It's called Class G for God. Okay, and it takes about 6 months, 6 to 8 months to process.
Wow.
Yes, depending on the backlog at immigration. Sometimes you can find you're lucky, and 3 months down the line, your permit is ready. Okay, so you need to plan in advance. If you're planning to come to Kenya, start appoint an advocate, appoint a lawyer, start the process even while you're still abroad, because you don't need to be here physically until the very last point when we are taking your fingerprints to get you your alien card, which is the equivalent of like the Kenyan ID. Okay. So when we say you're coming into Kenya to do business, what do we mean? Okay. It means that you're either coming to start a company, your own company, a fresh company, or you already have an existing company abroad and you're coming to Kenya to extend operations. We call it opening a foreign branch. Okay, so each of them has implications as to the kind of work permit that you're going to obtain from the government. So let's say you're coming and you're starting a fresh business. Okay. You register a company. There are so many. I don't know that you want us to go through all that.
No, you can just
so many
generalize
types
them.
of companies that you can register. So the most common that foreigners register is a private company that is limited by shares. So then there's two portions to that company in terms of governance. There's the shareholding bit, and then there's the directorship. Shareholders are the owners of capital, the subscribers of the memorandum and articles of association. They're the ones who determine what business are we getting into, where are we starting this business. Okay? And then there's the directors who then have been appointed by the shareholders to now do the operational bit of the company. Open the bank account, open the business premises, enter into a lease with landlords or buy property, transact, have the business plan, the strategic plan, and so on and so forth. Okay? And then obviously you have management who are under the board of directors, okay, like the CEO, the director of IT operations and what have you. But sometimes shareholders can also be directors. Okay, so when shareholders are directors, meaning they own shares in the company, then we say they are executive directors. Okay, when they don't, then we call them independent. You need a good mix, right? So back to your foreigner who's coming here to to register this company. So if you're a foreigner, you can start the process of registering the company. But then if you name yourself as a director of this company, then it means that you will need to have a Kenyan PIN. One, a Kenyan PIN. Two, you'll need to have a work permit. Okay?
Yes.
So remember when I was telling you, you can either do a fresh company or you can bring your foreign company. Okay? So if you're starting your own fresh company, then you have to start applying for your Class G work permit to allow you to be a shareholder and also to be a director of the company. Now, if you already own a company, you can simply open a branch in Kenya. Right? So you see over here, when you're opening a branch, there's nothing like shareholding. But the branch will need to have directors. So you can have Kenyans, or you can have yourself, or you can have other foreigners as directors. Any foreigner who becomes a director of this foreign branch must have a work permit. But this time around, it's not G for God, it's D for dog. It takes the same amount of time to process. 3 months,
6 to 8 months,
to 8, 6 to 8, but we tell you 3 to put your hopes up. Yes.
All right. So so when they land in Kenya now and set up those companies, and they start committing crimes, not crimes, like what do you call them in that terminology? Frauds. Frauds through the companies that are legally registered in Kenya. Are you guys the ones who are supposed to take up that case, or it's their country? Like,
you mean if it's a foreign branch?
Yes.
Now, as part of the requirements for registering a foreign branch, you must have someone they call a local representative. A local representative is either a Kenyan or a foreign resident. A foreign resident is someone who is a foreigner, but they have a work permit. Okay? So that individual who has been named as a local representative, you know, a company is a person, a legal person, but they don't have eyes and legs and hands. So if they if a company commits fraud, it's technical committing. It means that the directors have committed fraud. Okay? Yeah. And therefore, those directors are criminally liable themselves. But if a foreign company enters into some dubious deal and they need to be made accountable by the government of Kenya, the first point of call is the local representative. Yeah. Yes.
And in our local country, we've seen that it's very possible for you to be a director and still be overthrown in your own company. Yeah. Kulikuwa na kesi juzi tu ya Cairo and something. You remember it? That was a Kenyan. Cairo and imports. There was that saga that was going around. And apparently mwenye alikuwa director, mwenye alikuwa mensio kampuni, alitolewa, which was apparently legal because of some things that he did. So does that apply also for foreigners? Like you've come, registered your own company as a foreigner, ume-employ wa Kenya, but then you've done something, and which is that something that you do for you to be overthrown from your own company?
Okay. So one thing that most Kenyans don't understand is the difference between being a shareholder and being a director. Whereas you can be both, the roles are very distinct. A shareholder is an owner. Okay?
Yes.
So if I'm an owner of a company and I've employed you, McKenna, as a director, the articles of association will say how I appoint you, how I get rid of you.
Really? So you have power over me?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Unless it's a publicly listed company, or the articles provide that before you can fire a director, then you need to go through this and this process. Okay? Yeah. But that process doesn't mean that the director is married to you or tied to you for life. Yeah. It simply means that you're giving them a right of reply, procedural fairness. Tell them we are removing you because you've done 1, 2, 3. You give them an opportunity to defend themselves and say, no, I didn't do that, or I did 1, 2, 3, and then make a determination at an annual general meeting or a special general meeting that has been called to just transact that particular business and say, we're going to remove this director. Yeah. Okay. So when you say wametolewa kwa kampuni yake, what is that?
That's all layman.
You understand?
That's all layman.
Yes, yes. Yeah. However, it's possible that you can be 2 shareholders and you're holding
equal rights to
equal shares, 50-50, and one of you wants the other one gone. Okay? Yeah. So it becomes very difficult, because then how do you force someone who holds the same number of shares? Yeah. That's when you find people are doing dodgy things, like they are forging a resignation letter, forging a board resolution, accepting your resignation and filing those with the companies. Yeah. But what the company's registry has done, and is very commendable, is that before a director is removed from a company, they actually ask you. Yes. So the process is embedded in the process, how they get assurance that really indeed you're exiting voluntarily. One, you have to swear an affidavit to say that I'm voluntarily exiting from this company. If you're transferring shares, you say in that affidavit that I have transferred X number of shares to so-and-so. And then at the point when the company was getting registered, the registry takes your details, your phone number, your email address, your telephone contact. So then they use those channels to contact you. Yeah. So then they can send you an email, you can respond. I know there are times when people have your password. So they log in and they get the email from the registrar and they respond themselves and say, yes, I have resigned, and it's a lie. Oh my God. So that can happen. The registrar can also call you to show up at the registry in person with your ID or whatever identification document to confirm that, yes, I am so-and-so and I have voluntarily resigned from this company. Yeah.
So the laws apply fairly and equally to the foreigners and locals.
Yes.
So hakuna when foreigner you have better whatevers than us.
No. Now let me tell you what normally happens. The dubious things you are saying. I have seen instances where a foreigner knows that if I come to Kenya and I need to I need to register a company, or I need to be a director of my company, I need to get a Class D work permit. First of all, for you to get a Class G work permit, you need to show the government that you have $100,000 US in capital.
That's 10 million.
Yes. So you have to show that either this money is in the form of equipment or this money is in a bank account. You understand?
Yes.
So you have registered a company, I've opened a bank account, I've deposited their 100,000 US dollars, okay?
Yeah.
So for purposes of Class G work permit, then I qualify, among other things. Then I'll be given the work permit. But then when it comes to being a director of a Kenyan company, sometimes the foreigners now, they use the back route where you have a foreign company, you bring it to Kenya, you become a director. So you get a Class D work permit. But then you have others that get Kenyans to do this for them. So I get you, you register a company, it shows the shareholder is McKenna.
Yes.
The director is Paulette. Okay?
Yeah.
And then, so then I'm in the country and I'm on a tourist visa as the foreigner. So I stay for 3 months. I exit to Uganda for the weekend. I re-enter. I get another 3 months. We are not giving you tricks to to use, but those are some of the funny things that people do. So then in that case, yes, the capital is there. It is yours. You've put it in the bank account. But then you've empowered a Kenyan who knows that you're not able to sign for your money out of the bank. And therefore they do that. They take your money and they run. You know, but then you cannot cry.
For cause.
Yes, exactly, because you brought it upon yourself by trying to circumvent the law that is put in place to protect you and to protect your investment.
Yeah. Alafu tumepata contracts mingi zinabrichwa. Let's talk about contracts kidogo, because I've seen hakuna difference ya foreigners and me when it comes to commercial lawyer. So when it comes to contracts, we've seen a lot of people breaching contracts. Okay, kama umesign contract 2 years, what are the reasons, legal reasons, that can allow you break breach the contracts legally?
So contracts are very wide. What kind of contract are you talking about? An employment contract or?
Employment, business contract. They're different.
They're very different, and different laws apply to different contracts.
Okay.
Yes, so if you can be specific, for example, and say an employment contract. So you're a foreigner or you're a local?
No, local. Okay. Is there a difference between now the foreigners and the locals when it comes to the employment contracts?
Yes, only in terms of taxation.
The KRA?
Yeah. But otherwise, if you're in Kenya for a minimum of 180 days in any given year, then you qualify to be a resident. So then you'll be taxed at the resident rate. If you're a Kenyan, and please let's not go deeper than that. If you're a Kenyan and you have employment income, whether it's in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, if you get into the country for any time within the year of earning, then you need to pay tax to KRA for your worldwide income. But if you're a foreigner, then you'll only pay the tax on the income that you have earned in the country. Yeah. But that can be a topic for another day.
Now, this is online, these online contracts. How do you determine the true? Of course, kuna zile fake note assign lafu pate. It wasn't really legal, and how do you identify the fake ones from the real ones? Especially these are amekutumia through the email, so it's not like a physical one.
For us, what we like to do is, if you're a foreigner and you're sending a contract to a Kenyan, so you're entering into a business transaction, you're in India and the other party is in Kenya. So when it comes to the execution of this contract, we prefer that you have a lawyer on the other side. Because lawyers belong to professional bodies and we are governed by certain laws and rules. And if you breach this, then you lose your license. So you can trust dealing with a lawyer as opposed to dealing with the person directly over the internet. Yeah. Okay? Well, that does not mean that somebody cannot impersonate a lawyer online.
Yes.
You can, but it's just safer. And you can do your checks. If this person is being represented by a lawyer called Edo Abasi, you Google this person, find out if they belong to the law society of that country, Nigeria or India, Yeah. So you have to do your background checks. But a contract is just a contract. If you and I agree today that tomorrow you're going to give me 3 dresses at 3,000 shillings each, and we shake hands, that's a contract.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to tell what's a real one, what's a fake one, you know?
Yeah.
So long as there's something you're offering me, and there's something that I'm consideration, there's an offer, acceptance, and there's money I'm paying, value I'm paying for whatever service or product I'm getting from you, that's a valid contract. Yeah.
All right, so what are the advantages of letting these foreigners invest in our country? Because we find Kenyans crying, oh, mnapea hawa chances, you know, they're taking over, sijui China, sijui nani, mbona mnawapea hizi contracts wanakuja kututengenezea, mbona sisi wa Kenya msitupee hizi kazi, you know, what are the advantages of letting the foreigners come and invest in Kenya?
Obviously, foreign investment is good for any country, you know, because then when that foreigner comes in with that $100,000, that's just the minimum that the government is looking to see that you have, so that you're not coming to the country to mark time.
Okay.
But then it doesn't mean that that's all you'll invest. Remember, you will come, you'll pay for a permit, the government will benefit. You'll get business premises, a Kenyan will benefit for, giving you that space, you know. You're going to get employees from Kenya, you're creating employment. You're going to pay taxes, you're contributing to economic development. So I don't see anything negative. Those big contracts, government contracts, I'm not going to comment.
It's okay.
But if a government has a project and there's a tender, and it's an international tender, and everyone has tendered, and the most competitive tender is the Chinese. I mean, we are not in the boardroom to see when they were evaluating whether anybody got a kickback. We don't know. You understand?
Yeah.
So you cannot say that someone is taking work away from Kenyans. All right. That's in terms of those government tenders. In terms of employment, before the government can issue a work permit to a foreigner, you must show that you looked through the whole of the country and you did not find somebody who has those qualifications that you need. So it's not automatic. Some work permits get declined.
Yeah.
For example, you're hiring an accountant. Really? How universal are accounting skills?
Yeah, true.
You understand? But let's say you're hiring someone from the Netherlands or the UK specifically because you're targeting that market, and you want maybe the head of marketing to be someone who is conversant with that local market, is in tune with the culture of those people. And therefore, when this individual engages them, then it's good for your business, because then they won't have to jail. They won't have to try and be compatible. Or maybe the person is coming from a country that has that speaks a language that no one in Kenya speaks. All right? For example, Turkish. Just giving an example. Your clients are in Turkey and they speak Turkish. It makes sense why you want your liaison person to be of Turkish origin, because then they will need to speak Turkish as part of their job. Then it makes sense why the government will give you a work permit for that particular reason. So it has to be a very unique situation. So Kenyans, no one is taking your jobs in that sense.
It's actually benefiting us.
Yeah, it's benefiting us. And remember, when you're applying for, before the government gives you that work, Class D, the employment work permit, let me call it employment, because DG, it gets lost in translation. So before the government gives you the employment work permit, you must show that there's someone who is understanding you, So there's a Kenyan who's shadowing you and learning your role, such that by the time your permit is coming up for expiry, there's someone who can take up your job who is a Kenyan. So it's capacity building, and I think it's a good thing.
As a commercial lawyer, do you receive threats? Because I'm sure criminal laws, okay, I'm not sure, don't quote me, I beg, but I think for criminal lawyers, that's quite tricky for them, because they're dealing directly with,
criminals.
Yes, so napata
criminals, they're not criminals. We don't know until the judge says
it's true. But as a criminal lawyer, as a commercial lawyer, have you received threats so far? Hata tuseme from, as in, for example, yeah, you have like a case against government tender. Unaona vile mtu anapewa tender, then government inaruka. So mtu anakuletea hiyo kesi, umhandlie. Have you ever handled such a case and then, sijasema government, mtu sasa mwenye ume handle against, then you've won, akaanza kukuthreaten?
Yeah, it has happened. I won't go into details because of client confidentiality.
Yeah, sure.
But I have handled a matter where it was a rent arrears issue, and then we had to evict a tenant, and then we had to sell the items that were in the house. So that we can recover the rent arrears. Obviously, you don't do this yourself. You instruct an auctioneer to go and do that. So the auctioneer goes, serves the proclamation, comes back 14 days later, the money has not been paid, carries away the items, goes and sells the items. The items included cars and things like that. So that particular tenant was so aggrieved that he started looking for me personally.
For real?
Yes. Yeah.
So nikiwa na kesi yangu ya business, do I have to come to you privately ama lazima tuende koti, nisimame pale, ni questioniwe, nisimame hapa, sijui witness amesema nini? It's quite interesting. Is kuna kuangana witnesses for such cases that contracts are involved?
That's a very winding question. What exactly are you asking?
All right, so
do you need witnesses for a contract to be valid? Or what are you asking?
Unaona vile, for you to, maybe a murder case, for you to present your murder case, you need the witnesses, you have to go to court, tusimame pale, wewe pale, uquestioniwe. Is it the same with these cases, commercial law?
Yes, it is.
Anasimamanga pale, judge ako hapa, uko hapa.
Yes, yes. If you enter into a contract, we have terms, okay? We have terms of contract. Therefore, if you breach, then, and we are not able to, see, first of all, the first point of call is not to run to court, okay? And sometimes we even provide this within the body of the contract, that in case we have a dispute, one, we'll try to resolve it amicably between each other. If you're not able to resolve it amicably, you could also say the dispute will be referred to mediation, right? If you want an even more serious process than mediation, you can say the dispute will be resolved through arbitration. So if the dispute is being resolved amicably, we'll just sit in the boardroom. You and I, and say, hapa hivi yenye kulienda, just tufanye hivi, sawa, shake hands. Okay? Or we can still resolve amicably, two lawyers. Your lawyer, my lawyer, we sit at a table and we reach certain compromises, we shake hands, and we do what we have agreed that we will do. But we can also provide for mediation, and our mediation means there's an independent party who is not interested in you, not interested in me. What they are interested in is that they can guide us to reach what is a position that is happy for you and happy for me. Okay? That's what a mediator does. But then you can go a step further and do what we call arbitration. Now, in arbitration, we have people who are qualified to be arbitrators, and you sit before them and present like you're presenting a dispute in court. Yes, you can have one arbitrator, you can have 3 arbitrators, you can have 5 arbitrators, okay, an odd number, because then they need to make a determination by voting if they are more than one. Yes, so you present your case. You present your case to the arbitrator. The advantage is that it's private, it's faster, because you can see the arbitrator today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow. You finish presenting your matter, the other side starts theirs, finishes, and in a week's time, the arbitrator gives a decision. And the decision is final. Well, ask, when you speak to Lumalas, under dispute resolution, you can go a bit more in depth. So this is just for layman's understanding of what mediation, alternative dispute resolution methods, mediation, conciliation, arbitration. Okay? Now you asked about court. So the contract has gone south, and we are now in court. Yes, you will. The contract will be one of the documents that will be
presented as evidence.
Yes, as evidence in the matter. And then you will produce evidence before the court as to what you performed and what you didn't perform. So the person who's alleging is the one who needs to tell the court, this is what we agreed. We agreed 10 goats.
Yeah.
She brought 10 rats. You understand?
Yeah.
So then you present to the judge, and the judge will give the other side a chance to also say, I didn't do it because we also agreed in the agreement that she will send a truck to come and pick the goats,
Yeah.
but she sent a tuk-tuk, and therefore only rats could fit in the
Yeah.
tuk-tuk.
Yeah.
So you do it, even if it's a contract, you do it. If you have to go before court, you do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what are the challenges you've gone through as a female lawyer? Hata sitasema as a lawyer, as a female lawyer. Because unajua kama watu entertainment utasema huyu alikuwa anataka kulala na mimi ndio apate interview. So as a lawyer, what are the challenges
I don't
female?
think that, especially in commercial practice, I don't think that there are any challenges that are unique to me because I'm a female lawyer that the male advocates do not face. I honestly cannot think of one. Yes.
You don't get that?
Maybe what I can say is juggling motherhood. You know, you're a mom, you're a wife, and then you're a partner in a law firm. So you have a big family. You have the law firm family, they're all your children. Then you go home and you have to be a mom and do homework and things like that. And then you have to be a spouse to your husband. So I find that men have an easier time because traditionally, and this is not true for all homesteads. Yeah, traditionally, women take up more roles in the house than the men. Yeah.
So as your gender thing hayaplayingi sana kwa lawyers?
I at least not my personal experience.
You don't get clients who are like, huyu ni dem anani represent, acha nitafute mwanaume.
But before you come, you know I'm a lady. So
okay, makes sense. Makes sense, yes.
Yeah.
All right, so give us a parting shot and an advice maybe to somebody who would like to come and join you as specifically a commercial lawyer.
You're most welcome. We treat all clients equally.
Advice some nini wapite history ama CRE,
like somebody who wants to become
a commercial lawyer like you. Yes.
Yeah, just read your do I even remember what the I think it's humanities. And
CRE
then
and history.
A language, I mean, you have to express yourself well, so either in Swahili or in English. So your languages, and then a humanity, I think it can be history or geography, and then a science. I don't think CRE is relevant for
law. You're an ideology.
Yeah. But then once you're in practice, I have found that you cannot box yourself and say, since I'm only doing commercial practice, commercial practice happens in a context, a business context, a family context.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So the more knowledge you amass, you can't restrict yourself. The more knowledge you amass, the better you will be.
Yeah.
So you can study law and also study accounts.
Yeah.
You can study law and also study psychology.
Yeah.
You understand? So the other thing that you do just makes you a better lawyer.
Yeah.
Just makes you better able to relate to your clients. Yeah.
Let's close this up beautifully. What's the most beautiful moment uko nayo kwa career yako? Most beautiful moment.
I think the most beautiful moment, it's moments. The most beautiful moment is when I receive my fees from the clients.
Are you Kikuyu?
No. But honestly, it's always very heartwarming when a client walks in and they have a problem, and when they leave, you have solved that problem, or you've halved it, or you have given them ideas on how to go around it. I honestly really love when I see people shaking hands because they've made business.
Is this easier to deal with foreigners or locals?
There's no difference. I think personalities are just
the same too. Nicholas different.
Yes. Sometimes, although foreigners, especially those who are not English speaking, sometimes it can be a challenge.
Language barrier.
Yes, because you may think they're telling you this, but because of the translation, they're actually telling you something else. So you have to keep double checking. But we bill for that, so we get compensated for it.
Okay, I took a contact zako. Where can people find you?
Lumalas, Acheng, and Kabere Advocates, or LAC Advocates, Wuyi Plaza, Galana Road, off Adwins Kodek Road, Kilimani. www.lacadvocates.com.
I'm not 00007. Anyway, thank you so much. I'm gonna subscribe to Glow Up with my actually love for once. Woo, subscribe to Glow Up with McKenna. One and the link not to serious there.
Subscribe to Glow Up with McKenna.
Said by lawyer who?
Very.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too.
Guys, where am I looking? So guys, thank you so much. I hope you've learned a thing or two in this commercial law episode. Thank you so much to our guest, Eunice, lawyer Eunice. And I'm your girl McKenna. The conversation does not end here. Remember to hit me up on Instagram, Cash Grace, and tell me what more will they have asked. They are here for us. Watatujibu na mtalipa consultation fee by them. Mtakuwa mnalipa sasa. And thank you so much to my team, the Race Entertainment Gang, Aviko and Manu. Until next time, remember to visit Akimeitaje. You plug?
Luck. Yeah, advocates.
Luck Advocates. So wadau napenda sana. Until next time, God bless. Have a good day.